Right.
Everybody listens to the CEO. If they don't, they're not going to be there that long, right? So,
Right.
yeah,
That's clever. I think that's a really good point. Again, having that insight is going to make it more, you're going to be more notable and you're also going to be more confident. And, there's a lot to be said for coming into an interview with that just quiet confidence of like, I'm ready and I understand what's needed.
yeah. And to add to that too, I wouldn't say, oh, I listened to the earning call and said, like, no, that's kind of weird.
No,
Like,
right.
say, like, if the CEO's like, yeah, we're actually, trying to think of what he said. Oh, yeah. So what he, because I listened to about two or three of the calls. They were like an hour long, and he talked about their product Flex, which was a cloud, a cloud unified dashboard for all
Mhm.
the apps that employee would use. And he talked about expanding the sales of that. So I basically talked about how the strategies I would go to get more clients to test it out and use it. Right. I didn't
Yeah.
say, oh, I heard, so and so said it's on the earning call and y'all need to position Flex. I was like, no, this is how I would actually position Flex. Right.
Right.
So it's like, um, yeah.
So
I
more
would
subtle, but still, I
more
mean, the
so.
thing is, it's, you showcase that you're smart without saying, I'm smart or I researched. Like, don't say it, just show it
So,
through the breadth of your insights in answering those questions.
right, right. So you gave advice on job applicants. What advice would you give to recruiters to actually get the best value of the event and also provide job applicants with the best experience? What are some things that you would give job recruiters and I guess also companies too?
Right. So I think that the important thing for companies that are really serious about diversity is that they have to understand they have to have a comprehensive and consistent plan. So again, I love the workout analogy. It's not just run a marathon once a year without any training. It's you go in and you put together something where you're consistently doing, there's lots of opportunities to connect to a diverse audience if you're trying to look for diverse candidates. If your recruiters are going on dice every 5 minutes, then it's not that big an ask that you'd actually look for diverse candidates as much or even more really because again there's a smaller population. So I would say if a company is serious, why we have the fairs is that we have them multiple times a year, and what we can do in the interim is that we can also source for candidates and we can have continuous contact with candidates apart from the fairs. So that gives you the advantage of being able to have people in connection even when there's not a fair happening. Like, and then also introduce the brand regardless of whether there's a fair happening. I think that that's really important. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of the fairs are really referral opportunities, really, because the recruiters can be referrers. I mean, you can get an basically equivalent to a referral opportunity by coming through the fair as opposed to just applying to their career site. So leveraging that is really important, and I think that that's a real value add for the company to impress upon them. And in terms of experience for the candidates, um, again, I think everyone's going to have their different personalities. Recruiters are going to be sometimes. One thing we have changed is we used to have it where we would have it where if you were at a certain lower level, you'd only have so many recruiter seats, which created the problem of two recruiters, thousands of people, and now we just have it unlimited recruiter seats. Why? Because we don't want people to feel like, man, I never got to talk to somebody. And it's like, well, from the recruiter's perspective, they were inundated for 4 hours straight. Like they literally got bombarded by like hundreds of people, and they already had pre-scheduled interviews, that they had selected from people beforehand. So I think that from that perspective, having more people is better than having less people, and then having ways to direct people to the right departments if you're not the right target is important. I mean, everyone should be able to um interact and have a positive interaction, even if there isn't an opportunity, because there might not be an opportunity for this fair, but there could be an opportunity in the future. So it should always be something where people are like, really great to meet you. really great to learn about these opportunities. I am interested in such and such product management, whatever. And if those opportunities come, here's my contact information. So you're getting into that relationship building where you could have a referral or have them reach out to you when those openings come up instead of you just applying for those opportunities. So that's a big advantage, I think, for companies, is to realize that this is a bridge to connecting to a population that you might not necessarily get from like Dice or even LinkedIn, because LinkedIn you can't cultivate, like, you can't say we're looking exclusive. I mean, not that I would kick people out, but we are very intentional about, we reach out to Black professionals because it's a Black professionals focused, fair. That's the point.
Yeah.
So, you can get more people because of that, because of the mission.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that advice. What advice would you have for people who are going to an in-person virtual fair to get the best value out of it?
An in-person or virtual fair?
In person.
An in-person fair. I would say, I mean, I think a lot of the same rules apply. Doing your research, a lot of what I said about, learning about the roles. I think the only thing that's a challenge at in person is that you might not necessarily know what roles are on offer. And that's one thing that we do. We always share the career pages of all of our participating companies so you can find out. But I think again, doing as much research as possible and just facilitating those conversations is important. It's hard to say because I haven't done a live, like an in-person fair in a long time. But I think, part of me's thinking like in an Afrotech kind of situation where, you know, just being willing to meet organizations. I mean, they're there to facilitate those conversations. That's the whole point. And so, I would visit every organization that was there. I would make sure I had an interesting conversation. If usually they have some kind of setup, you can engage about that. Send your business card. I'm looking for this role in this area. Love to be added to your applicant tracking or follow up with you. Send a thank you afterwards. These are all things I would do if I was at an event where there was a lot of companies. I would reach out to everybody because I don't know. I just feel like you don't have anything to lose in building connections. Some people have a lot of weird guardedness about, oh, I only want to go to these organizations. But in that setting, I would pretty much, unless I had some like moral objection to the organization for some reason, I would go with everyone.
Yeah. One thing, and then you speak on Afrotech. One thing I noticed about, and this is just not an Afrotech, but like job fairs, people tend to go towards the popular name. So whatever popular app that is, they're going towards it. So NVIDIA is like really hot right now. So if you go
Right.
to a job fair, NVIDIA's booth is going to be crazy. Um,
Yeah.
the Facebook had their massive layoffs. Their booth was like empty. It was almost like a ghost town.
Really.
This was
Last year.
last year when they shut down. I think it was last year. No, was it like no, no? It was maybe it was
Before.
2022. But when they hired, when they let go all of their VR staff, basically,
I got it.
I
Yeah.
think that was
The
2020.
Oculus group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and so when I go to these job fairs, what I do, like you said, I do my research beforehand, and I look at companies. I make a list of companies that identify with my past experience or industry experience, right? So
Right.
when I was at Afrotech last year, I'm like, okay, I work in renewable tech. What renewable tech companies are here? I want to get into health tech. Okay, what health tech companies are here? And then I created my prioritization there, but then I also looked at, okay, what companies have PM roles that they're looking for. And
Right.
when I hit the floor, I said, okay, I'm not even going to go to the popular names because everybody's there, right? Let me go to
Right.
the booths that don't have as much traction, but also kind of fit what I'm looking for.